Welcome to this edition of In-Depth Alaska. I'm Tracy Sinclair. As we get closer to the April 2nd municipal election here in Anchorage, we wanted to spend a little time with the candidates for school board. Now we're going to hear from the candidates for seat F. We're going to start with the challenger, Angela Frank.
I'm Ariane Aramburo with Alaska's News Source, and we are talking to the candidates that are running for the Anchorage School Board. And here with me is Angela Frank, running for seat F. Angela, thanks so much for being here with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Well, before we get into the questions, just want to know a little bit about yourself. Give us a little introduction.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm from a small country town in Washington, central Washington. I pretty much, put my way through school and working as a nanny, and that kind of brought me across the state in Western Washington. And from there, I kind of stayed with family in California, and then I made my way up here, where I've been happily an Alaskan for the last 4 years.
Nice. So first question is, why are you running for the Anchorage School Board?
So right now, I'm currently a local government specialist for the state, and part of my job is I work with rural communities, helping their communities within their local government. And while I love doing that, I love my own home here in Anchorage. I want to contribute to my community as best as I can. And I feel like with schools, they're the heart of any community, and I feel like I can given my background in childcare and education, I can hopefully make a positive impact.
What would you want to change about the school board and the direction of the Anchorage School District?
I would like to be there. If I'm eligible to be or elected to be on the school board, I hope to be able to give some diversity and an exchange of new ideas. Because right now the school board has had quite a few people that have been there for a long time, and with the current candidacy upon being elected, it's going to be kind of the same thing. So I want to be there to to listen to my community and hear other thoughts, and hopefully better provide to further our schools and their education.
In many places across the country, books are being banned from school libraries. Do you think books should be banned from school libraries, and how do you balance that with the right for diversity and equality?
I think books belong in libraries, and while we're gonna have disagreements with what is acceptable or what is appropriate for our students in regards to what they read, but I think that and parents have every right to express what they feel about what is appropriate, for their kids. But I think that it should be it's. I feel like if a parent doesn't want their child reading a particular book, express that to them and make that scene. But that doesn't mean that should be not allowed for everyone else.
In light of the rapid growth of homeschooling in the state, as well as the governor's push to increase the number of charter schools statewide, what new benefits and challenges do public schools face?
I think, without a doubt, we're definitely facing our budget and the amount of money that we're going to have for public schools especially. And while there's, with the governor's pushing for charter schools, and that's, it's great, but the rest of the schools, I feel like they're kind of being left behind in this regard, and it's going to be definitely a struggle moving forward with that.
Politics in general has become increasingly polarized. How would you deal with that at the school board level?
I think politics should be placed out of the school board, because school board isn't about politics. This is about bettering our students and giving them the best education and resources that we can.
And lastly, Angela, the school board passed a $680 million operational budget that's dependent on the governor signing Senate Bill 140. Every year, it seems like there's a budget shortfall. So how can the school district better plan for the future so that this isn't an annual issue? I'm not sure, honestly. I mean, upon being elected, I would hope that I could, look at our budget and give contribute to potential ideas of how we can solve this, and especially listen to the community more and see what their ideas are, and our current teachers and administration, and even our students as well. And maybe we can come together more than we have sort of now to help solve this problem in the future. And those are all the questions that I had. I'll give you a chance to give the final thought. Anything that you want to mention or add that I didn't ask or you'd like to share?
I think that's pretty well good. I just would want to make, for anyone listening, to make a point to say that I'm running for school board, and I'm really excited for this opportunity to be on the school board, and I hope that by running, I'm at least allowing a choice for the public to choose between, have a choice and not have just the same individuals running the school board.
All right. Well, that was Anchorage School Board candidate Angela Frank, who is running for seat F. Angela, thank you so much for your time and for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And now the incumbent for seat F, Dora Wilson. I would like to note that our camera had some issues on the final question, so you can't see Ms. Wilson's final answer, but you will be able to hear it.
I'm Ariane Aramburo with Alaska's News Source, and we are talking to the candidates running for the Anchorage School Board. Here with me is Dora Wilson, running for seat F. Dora, thanks for being with us here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, before we get started, I just want you to give a quick introduction of yourself for folks.
Of myself, I have lived in Anchorage for, over 28 years now. I have 3 of my own kids, biological kids, who are now young adults. They're in their 20s, so mom is always, I consider it to be the most important job I have, even though I have many. I'm a therapeutic foster parent. I've been a foster parent for over 18 or 19 years now. My husband and I have had about 50 kids in our home in that time period. I'm a community outreach manager during the day. That's my day job. I'm currently on the Anchorage School Board, so I'm running for re-election. I do many things. I'm a first-generation college graduate. That one's really important to me because my parents were and my grandparents were farm workers, so public education is extremely important to me in the generational change. I'm on multiple boards. I've been on the School Business Partnership Board for, over 22 years now. Working with the schools is extremely important. It always has been to me as well. I'm on a Resource Family Advisory Board, which is composed of resource families, foster families, adoptive families from around the state. So I could go on. Community outreach and community is really important to me.
Like to be involved. I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, why are you running again for the Anchorage School Board?
So I ran the first time because I wanted to bring perspective to the board. I work in many different realms. I work with youth in many different factions of the community. And it was really important for me to bring the many different perspectives that I had to the board. I feel like I've done that, and I want to continue to do that. I'm really excited about a lot of the work that the board has been doing and the district is working on, like our goals, which consist of reading, improving reading skills for proficiency for students, for our younger students, our math skills, and our college career and life readiness goal. That one's really near and dear to me. Been working with the academies on the steering committee for the academies, and so I'm really excited about that work, super excited about that work, want to continue that work. The academies are going to start rolling out with our freshman academies next year, so I want to continue that process.
What would you want to change about the school board and the direction of the Anchorage School District?
Anytime we talk about changing direction, I think that the board and the district has been working really hard to change the direction in a positive way, to really focus on student achievement and to bring that achievement up. So that is a heavy focus, will continue to be a heavy focus. Of course, budget is always an issue with that, but I think the district and the board is trying to work in very innovative ways to improve and focus on our student achievement. So I'm excited to continue that work.
In many places across the country, books are being banned from school libraries. Do you think books should be banned from school libraries, and how do you balance that with the right for diversity and equality?
The district has a very comprehensive process when they select their material. And if there are any issues with, if any member or of the community has an issue with any of the books that they're finding in their student's library, there is a formal process that they can request a controversial issue. There's a formal process that the district goes to really investigate that whatever material is questioned, and so I would recommend always, families should be advocating for their youth, but really go through that process.
In light of the rapid growth of homeschooling in the state, as well as the governor's push to increase the number of charter schools statewide, what new benefits and challenges do public schools face?
So I don't know if everybody quite understands how many amazing opportunities our district provides. That includes traditional programs, for language programs, charter schools, homeschool programs. So our district encompasses all of that and welcomes all of that, the diversity and type of curriculum and teaching for students, because as we very well know, not everyone learns exactly the same. And so I really love all of the different programs that our district has to offer and all of the different ways that our students have the opportunity to learn.
Politics in general has become increasingly polarized. How would you deal with that at the school board level?
Schools, our school board is nonpartisan. Our kids are nonpartisan. The focus should be on our students and our student achievement and our student experience, and really advocating for our kids, for our families, for our staff.
All right, our last question, Dora. The school board passed a $680 million operational budget that, of course, is dependent on the governor signing Senate Bill 140. Every year, it seems like there is a budget shortfall. So how can the school district better plan for the future so that this isn't an annual issue?
The goal is for the legislator, and there's been such an amazing bipartisan effort to work towards increasing that base student allocation, and that with the increase in the base student allocation, that allows the districts to plan. Right now, with one-time funding that comes through, there is no opportunity to plan ahead. So the goal is to have that base student allocation increased. And Senate Bill 140, I know they've been doing a tremendous amount of work for that to move forward so we can have the opportunity to plan. The budget shortfalls with the increase in inflation, the increase in costs, I know everybody's experiencing those increases. Our schools are no different than that. And so we hope to continue to push for and advocate for those increases, that increase in the BSA for our schools.
Well, those are all the questions that I have. I want to give you an opportunity to give your final thoughts, anything that you would like to mention or add that I did not ask or you'd like to share.
I'm a huge, talking just briefly about myself, I'm a huge advocate for education. I'm a huge advocate for public education for all of our kids. I also am a huge advocate for parent involvement, family involvement in our kids, and at the school board level as well. And anyone has the opportunity to come in and testify, to share information, questions, or achievements. That's always wonderful to hear. We give our students priority when it comes to testifying because we realize that, that it's a huge thing for them to testify, but they also need to go home, do their homework, and get to bed. So if there's ever anything that families want to share, please reach out.
All right. Well, that is Dora Wilson. She is an Anchorage School Board candidate running for seat F. Dora, thank you so much for taking the time and coming on.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
The municipal election is on April 2nd. It is a vote by mail, vote from home election. Ballots will be mailed on or before March 12th. I'm Tracy Sinclair. Thank you for listening to this edition of In Depth Alaska. Please like and subscribe to this podcast.